If you have been living in the UK for the past 3 years and your goal is to apply for your indefinite leave to remain after staying for 5 years, then I want you to listen very carefully to this video. You see, many people, they get denied of their ILR application, not because they commit a very big or a serious crime, but in many cases, it is a small and everyday mistakes that is avoidable that makes them lose their application. So today, I want to share with you 5 surprising ILR mistakes that most people don't know about, but can be the reason why your application will be denied. Now, let us start with this one that is catching thousands of people every single week, and that is the yellow box trap.
It's a yellow box junction, but for the council, this road is paved in gold. Stopping here gets you a fine of £160.
£450,000. That is how much just one of these innocent-looking yellow box has generated in fine for the council in the last 8 months. And the question that many people are asking is, who are actually paying all this fine? And the honest answer is, there are people like you and I.
I think that's fair.
No, it's not. It's an absolute nightmare, this road. Absolute nightmare. It's not fair. You've got two yellow boxes. It's ridiculous.
They've made £500,000 in 8 months.
That's all they're interested in, is earning money. Just earning money.
I think it's in a really awkward position. You have to rely on somebody else stopping to let you out. And there's another money maker for the council.
You see, most people, they don't realize that stopping inside this yellow box, even for a second, can get you a fine up to £160. And sadly, these boxes, they are scattered everywhere around Britain. You can see them, some of them in London. You can see some of them in Manchester, in Birmingham, in Leeds, and in many other places like that. You see, in many cities, councils now have cameras that are pointed at these yellow boxes, and these cameras don't miss anything. If your car enters inside this yellow box and stop inside, what happens is that the camera will automatically take a snapshot of your plate number and it will process it, and the next thing you get at your doorstep is the fine. Now, this is where you need to be particularly careful. If you have been living in the UK for the past 3 years or even more, and you're planning to apply for your ILR, this repeated fine can affect your good character requirement because it is very close to when you're going to apply for your ILR. Let me explain exactly what I mean. You see, anytime you apply for your ILR, the Home Office, they go straight and look at your record. If it is just one mistake of the yellow box mistake, they might just overlook it because in general, it is regarded as a minor offense. But if it happens repeatedly and you keep getting a yellow box ticket, it might just show a pattern of carelessness or maybe an outright disregard for the traffic law. And the worst part is that sometimes this yellow box mistake is not your fault. Sometimes the traffic may just suddenly stop, or the car in front of you may just hesitate to move, and you find yourself stuck inside the yellow box. But you know what? The camera doesn't care. It flashes that light, and the fine will arrive in your post in less than 2 weeks. So if you are a driver, be extra careful, especially when you are approaching the yellow box. Councils across England now sees this yellow box as a very good way of generating revenue. And ignorant, hardworking people like you and I are the one paying the price because of our ignorance. And number 2, unpaid or late council tax payment. You see, this one catches a lot of people off guard. In fact, you might think that missing a council tax payment is no big deal about it. Now, do you know that the Home Office doesn't see it that way? Now, when you apply for your ILR, the Home Office, they go back to check your history or how responsible you've been as a resident. In the process, they will check 3 things. They're going to check whether you've been missing payment, whether you've been making late payment, or perhaps maybe you've been ignoring payment reminders altogether. And this can be seen as a financial irresponsibility. Even if you decide to set up the payment later and you decide to clear them off close to when you want to apply for your ILR application, what you may not know is that those missed deadline remains on your record, and those records can raise a red flag during your background check, making your application look very risky. You see, the Home Office, they assess a lot of things, not just your income, but how well you manage your financial obligations. Something like council tax, your utility bills, or even debt collection letter. If you have taken a loan somewhere and you have not paid for it, that may reflect a terrible financial conduct on your part, and that may just automatically be the reason why you'll be denied application. So if you have ever fallen behind in any of these payments, even in your council tax, contact your council immediately and clear the balance. And when you clear the balance, make sure you keep the proof of payment. And going forward, always make your payments on time and consistently build a positive financial history. Now, ILR isn't just about staying in the UK. It's about showing that you are dependable and you are taking your financial responsibilities seriously. And number 3, small driving offenses that add up. You see, most people, they think only about serious offenses. Now, serious offenses like drink driving, driving without insurance, or even dangerous driving may be the only driving offense that could harm your application. Now, do you know that repeated minor offenses can do a damage? Some minor offenses that we often overlook, something like a parking fine, driving in the bus lane, or even your phone while waiting in a traffic light. All these may look like a very small offenses, but if you have had several of them in a short period, it can start to look like a pattern, because each of these fines is recorded. And again, when the Home Office reviews your application, when they see a pattern of this record, they may begin to question your respect for traffic law and your general sense of responsibility. So before your application, make sure you check your driving record with the DVLA, and more importantly, start driving with extra caution. Make sure you don't gather any serious traffic offenses within the last 3 years before you apply for your ILR. And this is the reason. Most offenses, especially driving in accordance with your provisional license, will require you that you don't commit that offense within the 3 years of you applying for your ILR. And number 4, over-claiming or wrongly claiming benefits. Now, this one is both serious and is very common among people. Claiming benefits you are not entitled to. You see, in many cases, at the back of your BRP card or on your immigration status online, it is usually expressly stated there whether you are entitled to public funds or not. Sometimes it might just be an innocent mistake. Maybe you got a child benefit or a housing support without realizing that your visa didn't allow it. So if you ever realize that you've enjoyed any of those benefits, make sure you repay them way before you ever apply for your ILR. You see, the Home Office, they takes this very seriously. Even though it was unintentional, it can be seen as an act of dishonesty or a failure on your part to comply the immigration rules. So this is what you should be doing right now. Always double check your eligibility before applying for any benefit. Most people tend to take a free online courses, and what they don't know at times is that many of these free online courses are government funded. So if you have ever taken any free online courses, make sure you ask the facilitator to send you an official email confirming to you that the course is not government funded. And if it is government funded and you have mistakenly taken that course, make sure you repay the amount due. So at the end of the day, you will not go against your immigration status. If you have ever repaid that fund, make sure you keep your proof of payment. You see, in recent times, some of these free online course facilitators has become very desperate. All they are just interested in is just candidates so that they can draw the money from the government without informing the student themselves how those courses are being funded. And sadly, some of these students themselves don't bother to ask. So if you have already enjoyed any of those benefits that you are not entitled to, maybe it's by mistake, don't ignore it. Contact the department in charge and make sure you have them paid for. And when you pay for them, keep a proof of your payment. It is better to fix that now, because once it sits on your record, it may be hard for you to explain it later. And number 5, gaps and errors in your travel history. See, your travel history might seem very simple, but this is where many people's applications fall apart. Again, the Home Office cross-checks everything from your passport stamp, your flight record, and even the absence that you declared. If the date you declared doesn't match, even by a few days, it can cause a serious delay or even an outright rejection of your application. Always remember this: spending more than 180 days outside the UK in any 12-month period can break your eligibility for ILR. So before applying for your ILR, take your time to review your passport carefully. Note every single trip that you have done. You can use your email or your travel history to verify your flight dates. Even small mistake can make it look like you are being careless or you are being dishonest, or maybe seen as somebody that is willfully going against your immigration terms and conditions. So when it comes to your ILR, every single details matters. Sometimes it's not just about the big mistake that cost people their eligibility. It is the small repeated ones. So here is what you need to do right now. If you are a driver, please drive very carefully and avoid stopping in those yellow boxes. And also make sure that you don't drive without insurance. Or if you're a provisional license holder, avoid that temptation of driving unaccompanied, especially if you have 2 years left before applying for your ILR. Now, the reason is that some offenses require that they must not be committed within the last 3 years before you apply for your ILR. This is due to what the Home Office will regard as a good character requirement, and driving in accordance with your provisional license is one of them. And secondly, always keep your council tax bills up to date. And if you have ever lent any money from some of these online banks and the repayment is still pending, do well to clear them off way before you apply for an ILR. And also try as much as possible to keep your driving record very clean. Before you accept any of these benefits, make sure you double check on them. And if there is something you really don't understand, it is advisable that you get legal advice. You see, all these small habits that we mentioned, they don't just help your application, they show that you are responsible, that you are law-abiding, and that you are ready to become a permanent resident of the UK. And that's exactly my wish for you. And if you found this video very helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with other people whom you think that is about to apply for their ILR. And until next time, stay very careful.